But I've never heard anybody emphasize the importance of spending money. You've written this book, The Art of Spending. So it begs the question, why would someone like you, who sells tens of millions of copies of their books when they write about something and really, really cares about the art of writing, commit themselves to writing a book about the art of spending when you could have written anything that you wanted to and it would have been a success?
So I've written about money and finance and investing for 20 years. And almost never had I myself said, what is my spending philosophy? I can tell you how I invest. There is virtually no book out there written about spending money. So to look at the psychology of greed and envy and social aspiration and like climbing the social ladder, who you're trying to impress, whether those people are paying any attention to you. So much of spending is a psychological exercise. There's a great financial writer named Tiffany Alichet, and she grew up very, very poor. And now she's extremely successful. And she calls it post-traumatic broke syndrome. So even though she has a lot of money right now, I don't want to put words in her mouth. My understanding is like she's afraid to spend it because the feeling in her head is, I will never go back to that. It's not just, I want the nice car because nice cars are better. There's a social signaling. It's not just, I want to buy this car or this house or these clothes or these jewelry because it's nice. It's, I'm trying to send a signal to others or to myself of what I've overcome. One of the ways I thought about this in my own life was, if I was on a deserted island with maybe just me and my family, nobody could see how we were living. For me, and I think most people in that exercise, you immediately gravitate away from status and towards utility. And so once you start seeing the stark difference between utility and status, once you force yourself to see it, you're like, oh, it's everywhere.
Is something inherently wrong with status?
But I would say this, my own personal desire to show off materially happened when I was in my late teens, early 20s. I had nothing else to offer. Friends, family, spouses, whatever it would be. And now that I hope I hope to today, 20 years later, I have a little bit more to offer to my wife, to my friends, to my family, to employers and customers, whatnot. Then my desire for those things has gone down. There's a great Warren Buffett quote where he says, success in life is when the people who you want to love you do love you. And key to that is like, you have to ask the question, like, who do you want to love you? Respect them. And by and large, that is almost never true because no one's thinking about you as much as you are. And that was why I get back to the exercise. If nobody was watching, how would I live? The truth is because virtually nobody is watching, except the people who I really love and admire. And they're going to admire me for things that have nothing to do with the kind of car that I drive or the clothes that I wear. One of the things I write in the book is what's called the reverse obituary, which is, it's a very good, helpful exercise to write down. It's kind of morbid, but what do you want your obituary to say? Kind of a weird thing, but for me, everyone's different. But for me, I would want it to say, Morgan was a good father, a good husband, a good friend, helped his community, was a good worker. That's what I would want it to say. Never in a million years in that obituary would I want it to say what my income was, how big my house was, how many times I went on vacation, how many horsepower my car had. Money should be a tool that you use to become a better version of yourself, to become a happier, more content version of yourself. And so the idea that, to me, the best thing to spend money on is independence. And I view it as purchasing. And so to me, the biggest thing that I spend my money on, and this sounds weird, but is saving. And I view that as buying independence. And so when you view one of the cores of living a good life is independence, and any amount of saving money will buy you independence. I think that's a powerful observation for people. But for most people, like a good level of independence as a good goal is enough savings so that if you lost your job, if your car broke down, if you needed to replace the roof on your house, you would be able to do it without losing that much sleep. This is the most important part, is that all wealth, your feeling of wealth, is what you have minus what you want. And it's so easy to ignore the latter. Imagine yourself sitting in that house and saying, I don't want anything more than this. The feeling that we are aspiring to is just being content. And I have to remind myself because it's not intuitive. And I have dopamine that tells me you should want more, 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 more. So you never get over it. But I think once you've diagnosed the problem, it becomes easier at just like spotting that emotion and realizing that it's telling you a story that's probably not true. It's like, I always think about that humble bubble of like, the only thing that's going to make me happy exists underneath my roof. And I know that. If nobody could see anything that I was doing, how would I choose to live?